Southeast Toyota Distributors, and I'm excited about a program that we started recently, about a couple months ago, called the XB Build-Off. We have two groups of people that we've given these two XBs to, base XBs, and we said take $8,000 and make them come to life the way you see fit. They've been working on these cars for 2 months. They're passionate Scion owners themselves. I think their cars are worth probably about $40,000 a piece. They're XBs they own themselves. So one group represents the Scion salespeople, the Scion pros, and the other group represents the Club Joes, Scion club members. So we've got Psychotics and Synergy over here. And the head of Psychotics is Brant Good. He's the team captain of the Club Joes group. And he's got 8,000 members in his club. Psychotics is a huge website. You guys realize that Scion is just literally all around the world now, online. And then we've got Steve Saporito, the man on the left, representing the sales pros, and his partner, Ivan Garniff. And he's at Lipton Toyota in Fort Lauderdale. Steve is at Mike Urban Toyota up in Cocoa Beach. You'll never guess which car is his. Anyway, what is exciting about this is we gave them $8,000 to play with. They love to modify their cars. They're crazy about the product. They're crazy about the brand. In a sense, the Scion community has hijacked the brand, and they're running down the street with it, and we're just tagging along for the ride. We give them the cars to build up. They've worked with them for 2 months. This is the end result. We're seeing them for the first time today, and they're going to be on display at various places for the next few months. And in the spring of next year, we're going to auction off both cars, and all the proceeds are going to go to charity. So it's a really cool way for us to allow these guys who are fanatical about the product to tighten up the community a little bit with salespeople and Scion club members working together on a project that they love, and also to give back to the community. What I'd like to do is I'd like to bring up a couple of the guys right now. We'll do one at a time. To actually, if you guys can come in closer, I want you to see the labor that they put into these cars and find out the inspiration behind them. So let's have Mr. Ivan Garniff, representing the sales pros, come on up.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ivan Garniff. I represent one of the two team members who represent the Scion Pros. What you see behind you is our Project XB build-off car, so-called named Glide. Glide is a term in the surfing community which represents the balance between nature, harmony, the waves, the water, the environment, the culture that embodies the surfer and what they do with their passion in that sport, in that lifestyle. Couldn't have thought of a better match, both being from Florida and embodying the same principles on how we treat the Scion product. So what stands behind you is basically, I don't know how to put it, it's a piece of ourselves that got put into this car, and this car, once completed, in our opinion, took on a more spiritual aspect, because this just doesn't represent hard metal, 4 pieces of rubber and a lot of lights. It does take on a life of its own, and those that interact with us and get to know us in the cars walk away with that sensibility about what the brand is about and what we put into it to make it look the way it does. So what you've got here is just a representation of what our interpretation would be. If you were a surfer, this is what you'd want to drive into the beach with, prepare yourself for the afternoon, for the day, and then get back into to relax on the way home. I really hope you enjoy the car. We'll be available for questions in a little while.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's important to note that we didn't give them any kind of theme to go with. We just said, here's $8,000, here's a base XB, have at it. The idea was to be able to show you and the rest of the world what can be done with these cars with just a little amount of money. I mean, it really does create an entirely different car, doesn't it? So I was glad to see that we didn't end up with 2 Woodies. So I'd like to bring up, let's see, Brant Good. Brant Good with Psychotics. He's the president of the Psychotics Club. Like I said, has 8,000 members. They have chapters in Russia, and he's out of Atlanta, Georgia. Brant, why don't you talk about your car?
Okay, as Michael said, I'm with Psychotics. We're a nationwide Scion Owners Enthusiast Club. Okay, we're a nationwide Scion Enthusiast Club with 8,000 members, and we teamed up in Atlanta with another Scion Enthusiast Club called Synergy that has about another 4,000 members nationwide and chapters all over the place. And we all buy Scions for ourselves. I actually bought my own Scion as a commuter vehicle and caught the bug of modifications and started doing it. What we did with our car is we called it out of the office, because Scions are typically known as an urban utility vehicle. And what we wanted to do was do an urban recreational vehicle. We went very, very minimalist on our car. It's basically almost like a Lexus on the inside. Everything suede, or leather, suede headliners, suede pillars. Then we put 5-axis wheels on it, 5-axis body kit on it, and then mountain bikes. Because up in the Georgia mountains, we have a lot of people, mountain biking is very, very big. And the bikes actually come with the car when it's auctioned off. So that was the inspiration behind our car.
And how long did it take you to build your car?
We actually built this car in 8 working Sundays.
8 working Sundays. Some late nights?
Some late nights. I mean, we all have day jobs, and the two clubs would get together anywhere between 8 to maybe 12, 14 people on a Sunday. Would start at 10 o'clock in the morning and go till 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. And we tore this car completely apart and then put it back together.
I think it's important to note, too, that the folks that worked on these cars were not compensated in any way to build these cars. They did this out of the love of the brand, out of their passionate connection with the brand and with these products. And how many cars do you have?
I have 2 Scions. My wife has one. I have one. My car is known as Boxzilla. It's mean, green, and Japanese.
Hers is Bridezilla.
Yeah, my wife's is Bridezilla. My son used to have a Scion XA, but he totaled it. And then our daughter has a Scion XB as well. So we had 4 in the family. We have 3.
So what I'd love for you to do is be able to come a little bit closer, if you have the time, to take a look at inside these cars at what they've done, because just the outside is just the beginning. And like I said, the cars will be on display from here on out until spring of next year in different arenas, such as hot import nights and tuner shows and whatnot. And we've got a website called ScionBuildoff.com that we'd like you to go to. What we're going to do is, for bragging rights, we want to see which car people vote for as the People's Choice Award. So we'd like to see who's better, the salespeople or the Club Joes, right? The Scion Pros or the Club Joes? Isn't that fun? That's good. Now they already know. They already got people texting for their deal right now. But if you go to ScionBuildoff.com, there's instructions there how to text vote for which car you like the best. And again, it's just for voting rights. We don't have an elaborate display here like our friends next door to us. You know, we're on a shoestring when it comes to our grassroots marketing. This is an exciting way, like I said, to wrap up, to get the community more tight, more involved, more closer to each other, the clubs working together, the salespeople working together, and to produce something very nice that we can contribute back to the community with. And so that's the intention. So please make your way closer to the cars if you have a minute. Thank you.